In this video, we're going to discuss Cisco access port configuration. Now, this is just one video in the GNS3 labs for the CCNA certification series, so if that interests you, you should subscribe and check out the rest of the videos in that playlist as well. Now, in this video, we're first going to go through the definition of what an access port is, and then we're basically going to just dive straight into the configuration. I have a couple of different configuration examples, and we're going to demonstrate this on GNS3. Here we have the definition of an access port. And for this, I did a little bit of searching in a number of different places because a lot of sources really define. And for this, I did a little bit of searching around the internet because there isn't real solid, concise definition of what an access port is. So this kind of brings in together all of the ideas that I was finding for definitions of what an access port is. And that is a port that can be assigned to a single untagged VLAN. And an access port can only carry traffic for that single VLAN. And access ports also provide network access for end devices like PCs, IP phones, faxes, printers, and other end devices. Now, there is more to it than that. In the previous video, I did do a more in-depth analysis and comparison of an access port to a trunk port. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out as well. And now let's take a look at the configuration. All right, next we are going to configure the access ports in a short lab on GNS3, and we're going to build a topology that's pretty similar to one that we've created before, but we're going to start fresh just because we're not going to have any trunk ports in this lab. What we're going to do is we're going to drag two switches onto the topology, and we're going to configure the host name. We're going to configure VLAN 10. We're going to configure two ports as access ports and assign those ports to VLAN 10. And then I just have an example of a voice port. And I think it's important to include this just because it is very common in production with IP voice deployments, which are very common. And here we have a picture that illustrates how the voice VLAN works. This big block in the middle represents a Cisco IP phone. It's actually stated for a 7960, which is a really old phone now, but all of the same principles apply. And essentially how it works is that the IP phone has a 3-port switch inside of it, and 2 of those ports you can see from the outside. So port 1 is going to connect to the switch, and then port 3 is going to connect to the PC, and then port 2 is actually internal and connects to the Cisco phone ASIC. And so how it works is both the voice VLAN and the data VLAN are going to come in on port 1. The voice VLAN is going to go to the Cisco phone ASIC across port 2, and the data VLAN is going to go on port 3 over to the PC. And the end result of this is what allows both an IP phone and a PC to only consume one switch port. And again, like I said before, it is very common. All right, back to the configuration, and then we're going to give an IP address to the interface of VLAN 10 on both the switches, and that's so that we can do ping testing. And then I'm also going to drag and drop 4 virtual PCs on here, and we're going to assign IP addresses, and that's done with this command. First, you have the IP address you're going to give to the virtual PC, then this is the subnet mask for that IP, and then this is the default gateway. And then after that, we're just going to do some verification. Oh, and for the virtual PCs, it's going to ask me where I want to run these each time, and I'm always going to select the GNS3 VM. All right, now we are going to power on and bring up the consoles for these 6 devices. All right, now our devices have booted up, so I am going to apply the configuration. All right, and then one thing I wanted to call out here is I'm also going to no-shut VLAN 10 because since it is a layer 3 port, you have to do that. It will automatically be administratively down by default. So we'll no-shut. Alright, so real quick, we're just going to do a show VLAN brief to make sure we have VLAN 10 created and it is on the correct ports, which it is for switch 1. And we'll do the same thing on switch 2. And likewise, we have the same thing there. So now we will do some ping testing. Alright, so the PC1 and PC2 are attached to switch 1. So if we try and ping 10.0.0.1, that will be PC1. Okay, so that succeeded. And the reason that we didn't get an exclamation point, we got a period for this first one, is because it's the first time that we've looked for that IP address, so the ARP process has to operate, and that's just how long it takes for ARP to work and get the IP address in the routing table. Then we have the same thing on switch 2. All right, so now we're going to have PC3 ping PC4, which they should be able to do since they're on the same switch, and we get success there. And same with PC1 pinging 10.0.0.2. All right, so these are able to ping because they are on the same VLAN. So that wraps up this video. In this next one, we're going to specifically look at trunks and add some trunks to this configuration. And if you found this helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.